Shivaji Raje made an elaborate plan to loot Surat and come back. His capital was at Rajgarh, and from here he went to Surat. See, we can see what is the distance. It is around 450 kilometers. So he had to travel this much and come back safely. The route taken by him was from Rajgarh to Trambakeshwar, Jawhar, Ganadevi, Surat. So let us see how he carried out this campaign. Shivaji Raje left Raigad with 8,000 soldiers and additional horses for bringing back the loot. He was so confident about his campaign. They first visited Trambakeshwar near Nashik. It is a pilgrimage center of Hindus and one of the 12 important temples of God Shiva in India called Dwadash Jyotirlinga. He stayed there and conducted proper puja of God Shiva. He spread a rumor that they were going towards Khadki, Aurangabad. Then they moved via Jawhar, Ganadevi. They pretended that they were part of Mughal army and going to Ahmedabad, Patan for supporting Mahabat Khan there. Due to this, they could march safely through the Mughal area. Finally, they reached Surat and sent message to the commandant Inayat Khan to surrender and hand over a pretty sum as ransom to Shivaji Raje. Inayat Khan did not agree. He ran from the city into the Fort Surat and closed doors of the fort. The merchants, moneylenders were exposed helplessly to soldiers of Shivaji Raje. Inayat Khan was staying in the fort. Shivaji Raje was staying in a small tent in a mango grove at the outskirts of Surat. His soldiers roamed in Surat, collected ransom from every rich person without disturbing or attacking women, poor people, temples, priests. They collected gold, jewelry, pearls, and only such precious items. After doing this collection for 5 days, they decided to retreat because they were aware that Ahmedabad was at a distance of 5 days' travel and the Subedar Mahabat Khan may reach Surat at any time. They must keep some distance from enemy who would definitely chase them. Hence, they left Surat, travelled very fast, and reached Maharashtra as soon as possible. Their mission was completely successful. While returning from Surat, they received the news of death of his father Shahaji Raje. He had died due to accident while hunting in the forest of Hodigere in Karnataka. Shivaji Raje rushed to Jizabai. She was very sad and preparing to sacrifice her life and become Sati. Shivaji Raje persuaded her that he needed her guidance and also Sambhaji Raje needed her love. Jizabai agreed. Now the coffers of Hindavi Swaraj were full. Shivaji Raje decided to expand. He annexed most part of Konkan area up to Fonda fort into Hindavi Swaraj. This Fonda is in Goa presently, but it was part of Maharashtra at that time. He selected an island near Malvan in Konkan for building a sea fort and sanctioned required amount for the same. He appointed engineers and supervisors for the work. Soon the fort was built and was named Sindhudurg, which became important power center of Hindavi Swaraj. In the map, you can see Sindhudurg on the south side. This is Sindhudurg. He also visited Mahabaleshwar on the occasion of sun eclipse. Hindus have a tradition of conducting Tula Dan. This means donating precious goods equal to one's own weight to needy people. Shivaji Raje conducted Tula of his mother Jizabai and his trusted senior noble Sonopant Dabir with gold and donated all the gold. This was a way of paying them respect and expressing gratitude. The news of Surat's loot reached Moinuddin Aurangzeb. He was so much angry that he decided to send his most brave chieftain Jai Singh to crush Shivaji Raje. Who was Jai Singh? Jai Singh was king of Amer. His family was in one way love with Mughals. What does this mean? It means that they married their daughters into Mughal harem, but Mughals never married their daughters into Jai Singh's family. Jai Singh liked to do rituals of Hindu Dharma, but never understood true Hindu Dharma. He was brave, but his bravery never came for liberating Hindus of Bharat. He took side of terrorist Moinuddin Aurangzeb when he was fighting with his elder brother Dara Shikoh. Actually, he should have taken side of Dara Shikoh, who was less dangerous enemy of Hindu Dharma. Or he should have fought against both of them, but he never understood the true spirit of Kshatriya. Aurangzeb was confident of Jai Singh's bravery and strategic skills, but never believed Hindu chieftains completely. He used to send a Pathan or Turk chieftain along with every Hindu chieftain on mission. This time, he sent Diler Khan with Mirza Raje Jai Singh. They reached Aurangabad and then Pune. Jaisim was fond of Hindu rituals. He wanted to please the deities Shiva and Durga for defeating Shivaji Raje. He carried out Chandi Yag for Durga Devi and Koti Lingarchan for God Shiva. How strange this was! He was trying to please Hindu gods and trying to finish the only kingdom where temples of Hindu gods were safe. He decided to attack and capture fort of Purandar first. This was a strategic location connecting Hindavi Swaraj and Adil Shahi. He sent Diler Khan to put siege on the fort and himself put his camp at Saswad. The siege was tight, but still, Mawla soldiers of Hindavi Swaraj sometimes breached the siege and supplied weapons into the fort. To attack the fort Pulandar, first Mughals attacked and captured another giant fort of Rudramal and installed their cannons there. They also made a huge and high tower called Dhamdama against the fortification and put some cannons there. Overall planning of Jaisingh and Diler Khan was excellent. They were having vast experience of battles which they were employing here. Shivaji Raje made multiple efforts to make a compromise with Mirza Raje Jaisingh. He knew that Jaisingh was brave Rajput and devotee of God Shiv. Hence, he tried to persuade Jaisingh to join hands together and create a bigger Hindu kingdom. But Jaisingh could not understand his motive. Jaisingh asked for complete surrender towards Moinuddin Aurangzeb. Shivaji Raje understood that if he did not surrender, the Hindavi Swaraj which he had created with lot of efforts, and many patriots had laid their life for its creation, would be devastated. Shivaji Raje was an excellent decision maker and did not waste much time in decision making. He accepted to surrender. But for surrendering, he would have to visit the camp of Mughals. How could he enter the camp of Mughals? What was the guarantee of his safety? Mirza Raje Jaisingh took oath of the Shivalinga, that is, deity Shiva. He took guarantee of Shivaji Raje's life by holding a leaf of bilv and basin leaves in his hand. This was most trusted oath by a Hindu king. So Shivaji Raje agreed to visit the camp. In the visit, he tried to impress and explain his concept of Hindu kingdom to Mirza Raje Jaisingh, but with no success. Shivaji Raje agreed to hand over 23 forts and to pay yearly tax of rupees 4 lakh. This was first defeat of Shivaji Maharaj. He had studied the life of Sri Krishna, so he was aware that a retreat is not end of game. When this agreement was being inked, Diler Khan was trying his best to capture Fort Purandar. It had become point of prestige for him, but finally he could not do it. When agreement was done, Purandar was handed over to Mughals. Jaisingh insisted on sending Shivaji Raje to Agra to meet Moinuddin Aurangzeb. He sent many letters to Aurangzeb in this regard and finally obtained an invitation. He assured Shivaji Raje that he was himself guarantee of his safety in Agra. So, did Shivaji Raje visit Agra or Delhi? What he did? What happened next? Let us see in our next episode. Till then, like, share, and subscribe this channel. Thank you very much. छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज की जय.